Alright, this room has a pretty interesting puzzle that has a pretty simple solution, but took me a while to figure out. Speaking of solutions, there's a solution for something that we don't actually need to do necessarily, but it's there in case you need it, for whatever reason, and that's just another window outside. The thing is with this puzzle is, that took me a while to figure out is, you can turn on the lights in this room with this pull cord. And now this bulb thing is actually a laser thing, and you see that word Bobby? That actually pertains to the solution. I remember talking with Amir Akago about that, and I'm just like, oh wait, the name Bobby actually has to do something with the solution of the puzzle? Because I thought it was just a random name just written on here, because, you know, with this game being random. But anyway, what this does is turns on a laser, and you have those crystals. Now when you have the light on, you can actually see the change in the crystals, but you actually just need to switch the button to switch the colors. Now Bobby pertains to each color per letter. So for example, it's blue, orange, blue, blue, yellow. And what that does is, it shrinks Clayman. There we go. Now, while you're small, you can enter small doorways and this little area here. What this area does is, now you see the orange, yellow, and purple. The solution up in the window is what you need to do if you want to go back to normal size, but you don't have to in this room. In fact, what you're supposed to do is go in this little doorway up here, and then go up here, and that leads to this little area. And as you can see there, there's another little tiny room over there. Now, this is the area where you want to become normal. Now, remember the blue, green, and red solution up in the wall there? Well, what you're supposed to do is match that, and you just click on it to get the amount of red, green, and blue that you need to get back to normal. Unfortunately, I was just one off here, and if you get it wrong, well, Clayman will just spit out the concoction in disgust. And with a lovely belch too. So it took me a little while, but I forgot that you're supposed to fill the red one up completely, and then the green and blue at one. That's what you're supposed to do in order to get the solution. So anyway, now that we actually got the right one, uh-oh. And yeah, Clayman's growing back to normal size. Here we go. And now that we can pick up that clay disc. And this hallway, or this room rather, is pretty interesting because it has all these statues, or busts, I guess, of like all the kings, I guess. Which you can actually look in the Hall of Records and look up. And this one is actually just has a button. I don't think it's any particular king, it's just a guy you have to push a button to make the ladder drop. And you can look at all the other kings, which, as I was saying, you can look up at the Hall of Records for all their stories and the kingdoms that pertain them. It's very lengthy and really absurd sometimes, though, with the stories, so just be prepared for that. It took me quite a while to read through all that. And look, there's Ottoborg, Willie's dad. And, now there's another king over there. He has like a mustache, but the ladder, unfortunately, is blocking it. So if you want to take a look at that statue bust, don't drop the ladder down. Otherwise, you'll just click on the ladder, and that causes Clayman to climb up. So it's just a very minor thing you can sort of miss, but not really. And yeah, I'm just fussing around, just like, oh damn it, I shouldn't have dropped the ladder, but whatever. It's not a big deal, obviously. So let's just climb up. Okay, now we have another clay disc and a player. So since there's a player here, we might as well drop off our discs. And that ring up there is actually a way to get back down through the rooms, back to the shrink device room, I guess you could say. And the doorway over there is where we need to go, but first let's just drop off our discs here, and yeah, we now have over half of them. So we're making good progress. Anyway, let's go through here. This is a teleport device, which will several will become activated as you go throughout them. And I love how Clayman just sits down there. For now, we can only go here. So let's go. Let's see where this led us. Seems to be a pretty desolate place here. And oh look, we're way above the Neverhood. And there's a giant spike with a chain thing here. So yeah, the Neverhood is now back together. And in case you couldn't tell, that was Clog. So yeah, there's nothing else to do in this floating rock or whatever we're on, so let's just get back to the teleporter. Now what we want to do is actually go back to the... when you saw the two pieces of the Neverhood come together, you saw that the track of the one place where we pushed the one button is now back together. So we're going to have to backtrack in order to go back there, because we are going to need something from that. So in order to get back down, we just grab the ring here. And that brings us down through both of them. Of course, you can't take the thing back up. In order to get back up to the teleporter, we have to go. We have to shrink and then regrow again through that whole, you know, the whole drink thing. And of course, we have to use the radio every time to open the doors. So it's a little bit of annoying backtracking, but it's not too bad really. So now we can go this way through another trolley track here. not much else to say, really. It's just keep going along this track. It's pretty straightforward. There's like no branching paths or anything with this. It's just one set path to go up here. Now there's a disc down there, but we can't get it yet. But we can, however, get out here, up in this upper area. And look out the window and, oh look, there's a little doorway or something. Now this is actually a key that we need for the final area. So be sure to go to this area. Otherwise you'll have to come back here regardless in order to get, in order to, you know, beat the game. So once we got that out of the way and backtrack back, let's go to the breast cancer awareness sign on the teleporter and a ribbon, whatever. And go in here, and there's 2 clay discs here. So yeah, sometimes the game just pretty much just throws the discs at you. At like 2 at once, pretty much. Because at this point we're past the halfway point in the game, obviously, so there's not many rooms left, so there's going to be a lot of discs in a lot of areas now. Or at least quite a few, or at least a couple in each room. 1 or 2 anyway. Anyway, now we're in this area. And let's just turn around here. I'm trying to find something in particular. Ah, there it is. This little, I guess it's a house? Wonder if anything's inside.
Oh, it's you! Hi! Go away! I gave it the Holler Records! The guy goes and he keeps coming back. I don't get it. I wish he'd just go away. He'll probably do it again. Oh, it's you!
Yeah, that's just a little, I guess, one of the few other inhabitants of the Neverhood that you can sort of interact with. But he doesn't, it's just an eyeball that you can only see. Anyway, through the valley of Tim Burton trees, I guess. And into this little archway. And into the valley of Day of the Tentacles, I guess. And before we go in there, let's just turn around. And there's a little monitor here. Now remember that one puzzle that involved another monitor where you have to like write down all these weird symbols? Yeah, this is where it comes into play. And that one symbol that makes the noise is what you're supposed to put in there instead of like the one that was shown. So you have to correspond the noise with it. And you basically just have to put in all the symbols in order to open the door and get a clay disc. So yeah, it can be a bit strenuous to write down everything and wait for all the symbols to cycle through and get the right ones, and you just got to be patient with these type of puzzles in these games, really. But thankfully I'm just editing these down for the sake of viewing anyway. Don't want to make this too long an LP, because it's really not that long of a game once you know what to do. But even then, it's like some things that just pretty much take a while, so I feel the need to cut it out. Anyway, this room has a little mouse with a cheese, and you can't interact with it, and it just sits there and perpetually sniffs and eats the cheese all day. We get over, push this button on the floor, which sucks them up. Don't worry, they've just been transported to another little area. And let's go over here. And this monolith or stone tablet thing just popped up, and here's another little puzzle. Now, this one I actually had to kind of look up for the solution because it threw me off. Now, you see how the mouse is going towards the hole? Well, it's using its, I guess, sense of smell for the cheese to know where to go in the maze. So you pretty much have to, like, go in between the doors, and whatever the direction the mouse faces is the doorway or the hole you want to go through. Needless to say, it took me quite a while to figure this out, and even then, here it threw me off a little bit, because you have to be pretty precise in where the mouse is. Like, for example, he had to go through that little hole instead, because the direction of the mouse pertains to the direction that the hole is, not necessarily where the mouse is. So if he's like right next to so the hole that it's next to, and it won't necessarily be it. It might be the one next over or before it or something. Anyway, here's a little sandwich with butter and fries. Yes, that's what this thing is. And 2 more discs. And there's also a little projector here. Now we're actually going to need the projector here, or at least move it. So let's just get on this side and push it. Let's actually push it here. No. I pushed it too far. I get a little overzealous with clicking. So anyway, and that's I guess a picture of Willie. Now, no. Great. Pushing it the completely wrong way. We're gonna have to actually push it all the way back to that one room with the sucking, or the vacuum, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, come on, a bit more. Okay, no. I gotta stop excessively clicking on things. I guess you can blame Diablo for my over-clicking complexion, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there we go, and yeah, there I go again. I accidentally pressed that switch twice. Okay, and yet another disc. So yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said they pretty much just throw all the rest of the discs at you at this part of the game. Because I think we picked up like 5 in just 3 rooms there. 5 or 6, I don't know. And yeah, see, we already have almost all of them. We just need 3 more. Anyway, here's yet another puzzle. And this one can take a very long time, regardless of how you do it. Now, I actually did it the old-fashioned way, which is you gotta match them all without... Because if you mess up, it all resets. You gotta match 2 of them. And what I did was I actually took... because I already wrote down a lot of things anyway, I actually drew a little grid and wrote down where every single thing is, basically. And you are going to need this match puzzle thing later on for yet another puzzle, or at least another solution to activate something. So yeah, it took me quite a while to do it the old-fashioned way, which was to match everything and memorize everything right on the spot without writing it down. And then writing it down took me a while anyway, so that's why a lot of these things are pretty heavily edited, because it did take me quite a long time to even still write everything down, which I don't know if you would consider that cheating, but, you know, I already solved it before the old-fashioned way anyway. But, so, let's just enter this house, and we got this thing. So yeah, that happened. You're probably used to the weirdness in this game by now anyway. So anyway, I guess we can go in here, which is pretty much the only way we can go at this point. And uh-oh. Ow, just got whack-a-moled. Oh, and look, there's more symbols on the wall. So you know what that means. And of course there's another clay disc, which means there's only like 2 left in the game. So we want to write those down, and that's for another coordinates thing for the cannon. So now that we have both, we can go back to the cannon and use it. But first, we want to go over here to the blue squiggly line area. So yeah, this is another new area, and that's the track we actually went by earlier to get that 1 key, and whoops, because my mouse was over there, I accidentally overclicked again and turned around. I guess I'm too twitchy with mouse clicking in PC games. So, yeah. Let's see what's over here. Oh hey, is that Willie? I guess we have to look up. Gee, thanks, Willie.